Who's the audience for this book?
Everybody. I actually think that it's a great book for people themselves to pick up if they, living together. I like Judge Judy. I think she's a pretty savvy lady. She's lived a long time and seen lots of stuff. Let me see what she has to say. Or if you have a daughter or a son who's thinking about living together, and they say, I've decided to live together with Jason, and we're going to buy a timeshare and a puppy together. I would, as a parent, take this book and I would say, you're doing nothing until you read these 100 pages. Just get an idea of what can happen. And then both you and Jason step back and say, you know what? We don't have to make commitments to ourselves that will last perhaps beyond this relationship.
Right.
So, and I think that so many older people are deciding to live together without benefit of marriage. Even people who do it because they don't want to lose their Social Security. So they say, we don't want to get married, we'll live together. But there still have to be certain rules that you establish in case it doesn't work out.
Now, your husband, Judge Jerry Scheinman, is mentioned throughout this book in
Yes.
a loving but somewhat humorous way. How does he feel about it?
I've not asked him. You are grist for my mill. We live together. And sometimes, actually, writing a book often has a cathartic effect.
Right.
Because if I don't want to get into an argument with him and discuss something of a historical nature that irritated me, I wait for just the right moment. I incorporate the story into a book. When I say that I want to educate people, I can't just say, tell me your stories.
Let's tell your own.
I have to tell my own stories. It's not that we all don't make mistakes. We do. The idea is, somebody asked me to, I think it was Charles Grodin, asked me to write a little paragraph for a book on the worst mistake I ever made, or something about a mistake. And I said something like, and again I'm paraphrasing, that there are no mistakes. There are just learning experiences. And if you can learn from something that didn't turn out well, and if you can build on that positively, while it may have been an episode that had a bad ending, you've learned something about it, so you've created a positive for yourself. So getting back to how Jerry Scheinman feels about being mentioned, he's, aside from everything else, he's used to it.
What advice would you give? You've been open about it. You've been married, divorced, remarried, the same person, ups and downs in your marriage. How do you keep it fresh? What do you tell people who are having that rough patch? What do you do?
What do I tell people about how to keep it fresh? I beat him up every once in a while, every other Thursday. I abuse him.
And it works.
I don't know. How do you keep it fresh? I think that you have to stay current. I think that you have to stay engaged with the world. And I think the worst thing that people can do for themselves is to become uninteresting. Because if you become uninteresting by not engaging the world, then your partner's going to become disinterested. So I think that keeps it fresh. So you have to read a newspaper, watch something that's current, go to see the movies that are there, maintain good friendships. If you have friends that have become sort of boring, and you have to replace those with other people who, not replace them, augment them, supplement them with other people who, are more involved in daily life. I think that there are all kinds of ways to keep things fresh.
And you've always had a sense of humor.
Yeah, but
you make each other laugh.
Well, Jerry and I make each other laugh, so that's a formula for us. I think he's got a great sense of humor, and while he doesn't always appreciate my humor, he has to acknowledge that I have reasonable comedic timing. But not everybody has a sense of humor, and that doesn't mean that their relationship can't be interesting and fresh. It's nice if one person has a sense of humor and the other one laughs.
Right.
The problem is when one person has a sense of humor and the other one doesn't laugh, it's sometimes a problem. I've seen all configurations of it.